Foot switch mode, snapshot mode. Many people will advocate for one over the other. I say, why not both? In this video, I share what I think is the best way to configure your HX Stomp as an all-in-one device coming up. Hello and welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name is Justin and I'm all about worship guitar. Please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification button and treating me to a coffee to support these videos and my ministry. If we've met before, welcome back. Control. It's an essential part of the guitar playing experience. It's how we express ourselves through the color palette that is our effects. And HX Stomp users exerting control over their effects seem to be divided into two camps. Those who use foot switch or FS mode, and those who use snapshots. Let me just say that if you're a FS mode user or a snapshot mode user and you're happy with HX Stomp's default control layout, that's completely fine. I'm sure you have workarounds to the following practical drawbacks to either approach. In FS mode, we're able to visualize which switches are on to help us see what's active and what's bypassed, but we don't have the ability to change up parameters as creatively as with snapshots. Snapshots is hands down the best feature of the Helix ecosystem, which lets us get away with one delay and one reverb block to paint various shades of ambience, from mild to ethereal. In other words, FS mode offers more control information but less tonal flexibility. On the other hand, with snapshot mode, while we can change every accessible parameter on every block, we lose a lot of visual information on the screen. It's more difficult to ascertain which effects are active or bypassed, which can be an issue if you forget the state of your effects in a particular snapshot. Light drive, heavy drive. If I haven't memorized what state that drive pedal is in, I'll only find out when I step on the snapshot, which can be wrong for the moment. Hence, snapshot mode offers more tonal flexibility but less control information. Is there a better way? I believe I found the best way to use HX Stomp, but it requires a Moski dual switch and a TRS patch cable, which I've linked in the description box below. I'm calling this the hybrid FS snapshot approach, which capitalizes on the practical benefits of snapshots while retaining the visual information of FS mode. All three foot switches are used to trigger effect changes, and I usually assign a bypass for an overdrive and parameter state changes for stuff like the amp drive and tone controls and the delay/reverb parameters. I can hear you say, but you're stuck on this snapshot. Wait, there's more. This is where FS4 and FS5 come in. FS5 is my tap tuner switch. Yes, I lose the visual information of the tap tempo, but I decided that it was more important to me that I see if an overdrive was on or off. Furthermore, the HX Stomp is smart enough to differentiate long press and short presses even on third-party switches. FS4 is a snapshot cycle switch. When pressed, it advances to the next snapshot. For my presets, I use snapshots to turn on different states of delay and reverb, with 1 being the driest and 3 normally being the thickest. I refer to a blurb in the Tech21 Tri-OD ad that inspired this mode of operation. You're never more than 2 stomp presses away from your intended sound. Call me a boomer, but I remember the days of having my Boss DD20 and the only way to access a preset was to scroll through the rest of the bank. Kids these days have it easy with their fancy Morningstar MC6 controllers. Let me show you step by step how I've configured this. Step 1. Get a 2-button switch and a TRS patch cable. For FS4 and FS5 functionality without buying an expensive MIDI controller that requires a separate power supply, I refer to this simple Moski 2-button dual switch and an associated TRS patch cable. Any patch cable is fine. You won't need one that has stellar audio quality, you just need to make sure that it's TRS. When in doubt, check to see how many rings there are on the cable tip. Step 2. Access the Global Settings menu and scroll to the Preferences page. You're going to change what HX Stomp is expecting to see at the expression input. By default, it's waiting for an expression pedal, but this can be changed to expect momentary foot switch presses since we're using an external 2-button switch. change the behavior to FS4, FS5. Step 3. On the foot switches page, you're going to change what each foot switch does. FS3 is normally set to tap tempo/tuner. Change this to stomp 3. Assign snapshot up to FS4 and tap tempo to FS5. And voila, you're done. Now you're able to visually see what effect blocks are active, turn on additional effects even while on a snapshot, and cycle through the snapshots without having to bend down and change modes. Now go ahead and tweak your patches with this newfangled hybrid mode, which leads us into today's bonus. I have a patch pack for the HX Stomp that's already pre-dialed with this hybrid mode, and these are the exact patches that I use on a daily basis for my work. You can check out the tones as recorded here. That's it from me. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to share it with someone whom you know needs help with setting up the HX Stomp. Until next time, I'm Justin, and I'm all about worship guitar.